video clip from Professor Kevin. Um, this is the document of our homework, and I would like to just walk you through a little bit. Maybe my real expectation is that if you can follow my video, that will actually onboard you into using the software and then try to get you a better understanding of the MySQL database, right? MySQL database is really one of the most useful open source databases about relational database. And you will find a lot of a good understanding after this literature. So first of all, you just open up a terminal like this, and then you put a dash u. Root is the root user account. So in Linux, Mac, and then a lot of software were developed using the user account terminology. So root really means the super admin. It has a lot of privileges, pretty much everything. And then you can create some normal user account with less privileged access to this database. For simplicity, when I installed this MySQL server, I did not create other database account yet. So I just have this root, and then you can literally, if I do a command C, terminate it, you can also type database password right here without a space. Let's try if you can also do oh, let's see if you can also do is that quit? Okay, so it's quit without a function brackets, right? So another thing I want you to try is that if you just put a you know so it doesn't take it, right? It doesn't take it. You have to re-enter your password basically. So so this is the interactive way that you put your database password and then you can log into it. So forget about the dbeaver in the previous background of that the grid chart about all the ER diagram. This is basically get down to the bones. This is the terminal, and then you connect to MySQL. So I give you a bunch of commands to actually warm up. I said warm up. That means that you can explore a lot of fancy features of it. Let's take a look at this. That gives you the system time, right? It's if you have this, you do date, you do time in Linux. You pretty much get the same. Is that no? That's a function. That's different. Okay, so that's oh sorry. So that's pretty much similar to the Linux command, right? Like date, something like that. But this is in a session of MySQL, right? And then what you can do is that you can also type that and copy it. And these are all the character set that um, MySQL supports. In the previous session, I talked about ASCII, right? So this is the ASCII, and then there are a whole bunch of Windows related, DOS related, and then there is a GBK. I'm very familiar with this GB22 2312, and then there are some Latin, and then there are some UTF, and then what is more interesting are these: the UTF-8 and 32. The bigger the number, the more character sets is supported, right? And then there is also a default collation. We will talk about that later. Um, so show databases basically means that in my connection, I haven't connected to any databases yet. So there are so many databases in my local. For example, I have some side project called mocking test. I have some fidelity. I have some foreign sales. I have a lot of databases like this, but I haven't used any, right? So what if I do show tables? If I do that, it will say no database selected, right? Don't be scared by this error message. Actually, the error message is your good friend, all right? It's your good friend. And let's just take this mocking test as example. And remember, if you just hit that, it works, right? Without a semicolon. But normally, I would suggest you write with a semicolon. Otherwise, you will have a lot of issues. And then the other thing is that as long as you are in MySQL session, excuse me, you can use the up and down arrow keys, and then so there is a history, uh, just like that, history, and then you can I mean the terminal will help you remember a couple of commands that you type in the history, like show tables, and then if you scroll up your up arrow key, you will see a whole bunch of them, like that, and then this is very very helpful, and then you can see all these tables. So for instance, if you landed on a job and then somebody already have a whole bunch of databases, and then how are you going to understand which table is correlated to which table and in what manner, right? So we will talk about that relationship of all these tables later in my third video. But now I want you to also keep on going with all these to get a little warm up, right? And then you have a syntax, check the manual, okay. Schemas, show schemas. So forget about it, just ignore it for now. And then let's do this. A process, that's very interesting, right? So the process list, in my previous video, I show you the MySQL process, right? There is a process ID 134. So what that is actually how many connections you're connecting to the MySQL server. So we can very easily identify that this is the user that I'm running on in this session, and then this is the local host. Local host basically is a acronym in your local computer that stands for 127.0.0.1, that loopback IP address. And then that basically means you're running on your own machine, right? And DB is this DB that I'm selecting on just now. And then the command that I'm doing right now is query, right? And then the state is starting, and then the info is that what command you are running. This is extremely helpful if you are a DBA, and then you're logging into some using SSH in a terminal, or you're using a software. I will show you later on. You can run the exact same command in dbeaver, and that's the command that shows you who is currently logging into my server and then doing what. So you know that somebody is doing show process list, and again, you can do this. Uh, this is all the connections, right? These are the variables set in the database. So upon the startup of the MySQL server, the database load a configuration file that has all these set. These are the default values. For example, like aborted connections for 2 and connections 16, maxed used connection time. There you go. And then max use connections 3. So and thread connected number 1. So these are very interesting. This are pretty much like those words in the dictionaries, and then there is good reference books related to each of the version of MySQL server. Because the server has a version, so it upgrades from time to time, and then all the variables are supported and not supported in new version or lower version. But normally you don't have to care about this because right now this is an entry level database class, right? So the next thing I want to talk about is about this percentage time sign. Percentage is actually what that is a wildcard, right? Wildcard means that it's an asterisk, literally. It means anything that starts with the connection. And this one, I have another percentage that there that includes if there is anything before this O and N, of course, this is a whole bunch of prefix, right? In front of it, the O and N. So that's why you get all the prefix and suffix uh, on both side of the O and N, and then this is the CONN. So that means you have to start with the CONN, and this is the wildcard. So this is a warm-up stage, and then this is a short video. I try to keep this as short as possible so that we can enjoy a short session and then just watch a couple of them and then try to get yourself familiarized with this MySQL database. Thank you for watching my second clip, and then I will see you in the third one.